Hey guys, how you doing? It's Gary here. This is my first ever podcast, and it may be the last, depending on the response we get. But I'm really just doing this. I don't even know why I'm doing it, to be honest, because let's face it, anybody who knows me knows I've got nothing interesting to say at the best of times. But what I want to say straight off the bat is a big thank you, a massive thank you to everybody who's been following us on their live streams on Facebook, on the 3 Card Trick page for me and my brother Dean. And obviously Gibby's been contributing with his drums on the backing tracks. And it's really, honestly, it's reminded us that we're still musicians through this, you know, because if it wasn't for you guys tuning in every week and, well, every day sometimes, you know, some of you guys have been following us since the very start. And I think, you know, some of you haven't missed a single day. And that's an amazing thing, you know, and we're just popping on, playing requests for you guys. It's a really cool thing for you guys to do for us. And, you know, downloading or streaming our music, I really appreciate that. You know, in a way, we've actually reached more people with our original music through the lockdown, when all these live streams, than we actually would playing gigs. Because generally speaking, we're a covers band. When we go out on stage, we're playing songs that people want to hear what they know. You know what I mean? So if I see myself doing it, if I'm out on a night out and I go and see a band, I want to hear songs that I know as well. So when we're on the stage, we want to give the people what they're out for. We want to give them a party. But this gives us a bit more of an intimate way to put across our own music without actually ruining anybody's night out with it, you know. And you guys, some of them are sitting there going, and you're requesting our own songs. It's a less stressful atmosphere to do it online because you're not worrying about filling the dance floor. You're not panicking, oh, people are leaving the floor, we better play a cover. You've always got Mr. Brightside and stuff like that in the back burner. But with this, you know, we can just play our own songs. People can dip in and out of the stream. If they don't like a tune, they'll come back in 5 minutes. It's just great, man. But, you know, the guys, especially all you regulars, like, I don't want to, if I start naming names, I'll miss somebody out and then I'll get pelters for that. So I just wanted to say thanks to you all for joining in with those and helping us get through it. So anyway, let's move on. So if you've never heard of me before, my name's Gary Johnston. I'm in a band called 3 Card Trick. And I'll put the links to all our Facebook pages and stuff like that. And we mainly do weddings through a company called Coast Entertainments, who basically are as far as covers bands go, they've become like the epitome of like Sony Records. You know, if covers bands had a record label, then Coast Entertainments would be like Sony. They kind of helped us to find our feet with regards to making a living out of playing music and helping us, you know, find the right market for what we do. I mean, let's face it, man. You know, we're not a kind of band we're not exactly a show band. When I started doing weddings, I was like, okay, well, when I first started thinking about doing weddings, I was like, well, that's never going to happen, because I just pictured every wedding band to be this like 5 or 6 piece, you know, maybe even more than that, with a brass section, and, you know, you've got to have like professional singers, maybe even guys that can dance at the front. I thought, just a wee guy from Dumfriesshire, plays a bit of guitar, sings about as well as Liam Gallagher on a good day. So I was like, oh, nothing's going to come of this. But, you know, they actually marketed us early on as, and I quote, the poor man's Ernest. So I took that as a compliment, because I always loved Ernest. I used to go and see them in the Scotia, and I was like, man, if we could ever get to the half of the level that they're at, we'd be doing well. And ever since then, you know, there's been other bands like John Mcintyre's The Works, and which then became The Kicks, and now The Rocks. You know, John's been a big influence on me and the cover side of what I do as well. But speaking of covers, we've also got original music, and we're going to be playing only original music on this show. I'm going to put in some tunes from some of my own stuff as well. But I'm going to be playing songs by John, by guys like Alex Waite, Dee McLaren, who has a band called King of Crows. His covers band's called Splendid Gentlemen. We're playing some music by King of Crows, who, to my knowledge, actually only played one gig live. And it was their launch party for their album, I think it was called King of Crows. If it wasn't called King of Crows, I apologise, Dee, if you're listening. But I'm going to be playing some of your stuff on the show, and some stuff by Charlotte Marshall, and helps out the scene in general, you know. And Lonehead as well, by the way, I should mention. In fact, you know, this is one of them ones where if I start mentioning names, I'm going to miss people out, And I'm just going to get pelters. And oh, you did. Next when we go back to the pubs, it'll be like, oh, I heard you mentioning all these other bands you didn't mention. I'll be like, don't worry, you know, it's just my little podcast. You've got like 4 listeners a year. It's not like you're missing out on a slot on top of the fucking pops here, so it doesn't matter. But anyway, so yeah, it's Gary Johnston here. And, you know, I'm just weird. You never really get used to saying your own name, do you? Because when I was growing up, there's not really many cool Garys in the world anyway. You had Gary Newman, Gary Sinise, the actor, Gary Moore, obviously, from Thin Lizzy. But then the 80s and 90s hit, and then you've got like Gary Glitter, Gary Barlow, and Gary Tank Commander. It fucked it for everybody. So obviously in recent times you've got Gary Clark Jr., but I think as cool as he is, it's a little bit too little too late. Do you know what I mean? There's no way to pull it back. So there are no cool Garys. And I'm certainly not going to be the one to remedy that anytime soon. But without much further ado, guys, I'm going to play some music for you just now. I'm not going to play it live because you can catch me on my streams on Facebook doing that nearly every night of the week because I ain't got no place else to go. But yes, it is going to be one of my own songs. Wouldn't you know it? Because you got to get them PRS checks. But considering probably about 8 people are going to listen to this in the next year, it's going to be a PRS check giving me 100% of fuck all. Anyway, this one's called Cardboard Engine.
I'm on track to become what I hate. Don't know what to fill my heart with. Life got way too fast too soon. Except with toxic misuse. I ain't what time says I should be. 2.4 kids and an LD. Life got way too fast too soon. I miss my childhood bedroom. I'm on my way to starting again. I feel like a slave to what I became.
In at number 342, that was Cardboard Engine by Gary and the Cunts. No, that song actually was used by famous wrestler Tango Tim Wiley, and he uses it as his walk-in music for when he's entering the squared circle. And it was quite weird to think that the first tour that he used it on, he probably performed to more people, probably about 10 times more people in one night than that would have heard that song then than have ever heard us performing it or even streamed it on Spotify. It's only got less than 2,000 views there. So thank you, Tim, if you're listening to this, although you're probably not listening to this. You've probably got much better things to do with your time, like, I don't know, eating pasta and lifting heavy things and just generally being a sex machine. Anyway, Jesus. So you must be thinking, why is somebody like me doing a podcast? Most of my time is taken up by being all alone. I live in the flat on my own. And I have got like podcasts on constantly in the flat. I love listening to comedians. I relate a lot to comedians in a weird way. I can never be one. I tried it once. That's a story for another day, I think. But I tried comedy for a couple of years. Failed. Went back to music with my tail between my legs. But I would love, it's one of them things that I think comedy is the purest form of art. Just a guy on stage with a microphone with no, like, that. How easy is that to go on tour with? You just show up, you walk up to the mic, you entertain people for an hour or 90 minutes, and then you go home. Well, in most of the cases, they go to the bar and get smashed trying to reevaluate their life choices, which I suppose is what musicians do as well. Is probably why I relate to them a lot. But what I love about the Comedians podcast is I love hearing about how these guys worked. They've spent so much time working on their art and perfecting. Like, when you listen to comedy, it sounds like they're talking to you, like, very, like, conversationally, but they actually work so hard to make sure that every syllable of every line and even the gaps between the lines are so perfectly timed. And like Bill Burr and a lot of these comedians, Bill Burr's one of my favourite guys at the moment, and they'll talk about trimming the fat. And as a songwriter, trimming the fat really means like getting to the chorus as quick as you possibly can before you lose the interest of the audience, whether they're listening on the radio or listening live. So the old adage, yes, Gary, words are your tool. The old phrase is, don't bore us, get to the chorus. And the one band that always got that right was the Beatles. Can't buy me love, she loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's been a hard days. All these hits straight in. Not even a chord or a beat to get the intro. It was like literally straight in with the vocals. Genius. And if there's anybody on the Glasgow scene who knows how to do that, it's John Mcintyre. This is a song from his new album, I should say his debut album, Pledge, called You're the One. And I can't even talk over the intro because that's how immediate the hook line comes in. Check this out.
It's with no conditions. This resembles love. I'm sure I've been thinking of you, dreaming of you. Should I enjoy in your loving eyes? I see this is how it was meant to be. Your light sunbeams from the sun. You're the one. I had hesitations, reservations, they held me back. Then you gave me freedom, and your love took nothing back. In your loving eyes I see this is how it was meant to be. Your light sunbeams from the sun. You're the one.
That was You're the One by John Mcintyre, ladies and gentlemen, from his debut album Pledge. That's available on BANDCAMP, and I will put the link beside this podcast. Thanks, John, for letting us use that. If there's anything I love more than actually playing music, it's sitting down with other musicians, other songwriters, and discussing music, especially with other songwriters who, like me, have never had a fucking hit in their life and have not one iota of an orange box to stand on with regards to what we think is right. But, you know, when you hear a song like that, and hopefully other songs that you've heard from Dean, myself, Alex, waiting that, you know, we get to that point where it's like, music doesn't need to be in the top 40 for it to be good. You know, you can enjoy what you want. And the great thing about the internet is you can find what you want. You know, it doesn't have to be thrust in your face by Radio 1 or, you know. Anyway, I'm rambling now. I'm coming towards the end. I was only going to do 10 or 12 minutes from my first podcast. So that's the end of the wee demo version. Hopefully I'll flesh it out to be maybe 20 or 30 minutes by Monday. But thanks for listening anyway, anybody who's had the chance to check this out. And let me know what you think, just on a PM, if you don't mind. Cheers, bye.